Welcome to the very first episode of this podcast. I'm Landon, and this is a space about real life struggles and its lessons and everything in between. This is a podcast for you, teenagers like me, for anyone who's ever felt lost, overwhelmed, or unsure about what's about to happen next. Whether you're facing challenges or trying to figure out who you are, or just looking for a place where things feel real, this is you. We're navigating this crazy journey called life together, and sometimes we just need to hear that we're not alone. So let's get into it. Let's talk about life the way it really is. And without further ado, welcome to Landon's Perspective, Life, Lessons, and Growth. Well, welcome to episode 1 again. I hope you guys enjoyed my introduction. Each episode's going to be between 5 and 10 minutes. In each episode, we're going to focus on a different strategy or lesson that I would like to teach. Today, we're going to open up with one of my favorite lessons today, and we're really just going to talk about pressures in life and how the weight we bear in life can be strong on us and cause lots of stress, but not only that, but how we can overcome these challenges. So welcome to episode 1, The Journey Begins. I really like to look at life and look at the pressure we are put on in our daily life and say to myself, is this pressure needed? Every single day we sit around and we go through all of these stressful situations. Maybe it's a situation at school where you're having drama with a friend or you're stressing out for a test. It all gets to us mentally, but the question is this physically affecting me? At the end of the day, am I physically going to be hurt from this? And is this going to be a long-term problem for me? Well, the answer is probably no. All these stress in life is a way of making us feel like we're carrying something way too heavy. It's like we're walking uphill with no end in sight. Sometimes it's obvious, a heartbreak, a failure, or a moment where everything falls apart. Other times, it's kind of like a silent and invisible weight pressing down on our shoulders. We smile sometimes, we laugh, we act like everything's fine, but deep down we wonder if anyone else sees how much we're struggling. You see, we live in a world that tells us to be strong and to keep moving and to never let us break. But the truth is, strength isn't just about pretending. We don't feel that pain. It's about carrying it, learning from it, and choosing to keep going away. I like to also look at the illusion of perfection. In life, we have these standards that we're held to, and especially with social media nowadays, we see all these people. Maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a social media model or role model that you are a big fan of on social media or any platform, and they just look so perfect. We're surrounded by this illusion that everybody else has it figured out. We see people who seem happy, confident, successful, like life is easy for them. But what we don't see is the effort behind the smile, the nights they spent overthinking, the moments they wanted to quit but didn't. Also, if you think about it, most people don't post negative things on social media. So social media is not a realistic form of life because we do not get to see what actually is going on in everybody's life. Now, think of life like an iceberg. We see the part above the water, the achievements, the smiles, the good moments, but we don't see the part beneath. The struggles that keep it afloat, the coldness, the darkness. No one's life is perfect, and no one gets through life without facing storms. Storms are pretty hard to go through. Maybe you've been through one. Maybe you're in one right now. But it could be the uncertainty about your future that scares you. A feeling of not being enough, or the fear that you might not know what to do. Well, and maybe it won't be enough. But that's the thing about storms. They pass by. And even when they do, they leave behind something different. The strongest trees aren't the ones that never face the wind. They're the ones that bent down but did not break. Every struggle you face is shaping you into someone stronger, someone wiser, and someone who can stand tall even when life tries to push you down. Now let's talk a little bit about how you are truly more than your struggles in your daily life. I feel like a big problem is that it's easy to believe that our hardships define us. A situation, a problem in your life, it doesn't define you. That if we fail, we are failures is the thing that I hear a lot. If I get an F on my test, I suck at math. If I don't pass this class, I will never be good. Now, these are just things that we tell ourselves that if we struggle, we are weak. But your struggles are just chapters in your story. They're not the whole book. If you look at the book of life, why should one chapter define the whole story? If you read your favorite chapter book, whatever it is, and there's one chapter of the book that is about a horrible time, maybe it's the downfall of the story, about how a character got kidnapped, but then the character goes back and saves himself or saves the princess in the tower, and that is the climax of the story, right? You won't care about the part where the evil witch kidnapped the princess. You're going to care about the part when the prince came and saved the day. So it truly is a great part of our life that we are allowed to write so many different chapters after the part of our story isn't the part we like. So after thinking about your favorite story, how about a favorite movie or a song? You might know the parts of a movie or a song that describe a part, or maybe it's just even a part of a movie that isn't that good. If it's your favorite movie, there's a reason why it is. In every single moment, in every single one of our days, there is a moment that you can dissect out of your day and say, hey, this was the best moment of my day, and this was the worst moment of my day. So that leads into some of my final thoughts, and that's talking about having a positive mindset. I know, a little bit switching it today, but I really wanted to end with a just quick couple minute talk about how you can dictate your mindset to have a positive and growth mindset. I remember back in 3rd grade, my favorite teacher of all time, Miss Chassie, taught us about growth mindsets, about thinking through the positives when there is negatives, thinking through the positives when your team's down 30 or when your team has a losing season, about, hey, well, we did this better and we can get to the point. Being an optimistic. Science actually proves that people that are more optimistic live longer. So why is it that we need to hardwire our brain to think so positive? Because sometimes we do need to accept failure. But there is a major difference between accepting failure and understanding that, yes, even though my team may have lost and I accept the loss, there are still positives coming out of this loss. And I think this is one of the biggest misconceptions humans have, is that, hey, well, what positives should come out of this loss because we didn't win? But have you ever heard of the term mentally winning? I like to use this term a lot. Mentally winning is not being on the higher side of the scoreboard, but it's having a mindset as I just gain knowledge outside of this game to make me a better person, to make me a better athlete every single day. Growth mindset talks more about having a response. After an effect like this or an event that doesn't go right, asking yourself, hey, you know what? I tried my hardest and you know what? Things didn't go well. That's true. But how can I have a growth mindset and how can I think in a positive term for the next time I'm in a situation? I like to use my experiences from past athletic games or moments in life to dictate what I'm thinking. In using my brain and being able to mentally think through my experiences, not thinking through how I feel in the moment or what I see in the moment, thinking through my emotions. What do I know about the situation I'm in right now can help you be more successful. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're struggling and if you feel lost, if life feels overwhelming, know this, you are not alone. Every single person you admire has faced doubt, pain, and fear. They've all had the alone moments where they don't know if they could keep going, and yet they did, and so will you. Thank you so much for listening, guys, and a quick reminder that this podcast is always here to remind you that to talk about the real stuff in life. Obviously, I can talk into this microphone as much as I want, but at the end of the day, actions speak louder than words. Some things that we say sometimes we mean in a sense. And when I really mean that this podcast is for you, I mean it to the extreme. This podcast is here to remind you that you have a purpose. So I hope that resonated with you, and stick around, we're just getting started. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next episode. Landon Rank, closing out.